my name's Annabelle. I'm a health coach for teachers, and I help teachers to ditch the overwhelm, stop overthinking, and avoid burnout. Now, today I'm going to be covering a topic on the science behind noticing you and how your language is really either holding you back or moving you forwards. Now, burnout itself is not a medical condition. It is explained in 1974 as emotional exhaustion experienced by people who work so hard that they cannot do their functions. Now, in 1981, this was developed further, where emotional exhaustion increased in desensitization and decrease in personal accomplishment feeling. So in layman's terms, we're feeling heavy, we're feeling demotivated, we're exhausted, shattered, and we, as much as we love to do what we do, we're losing that spark and passion, because slowly but surely we're exhausted and we are wishing for that Friday, wishing for that weekend. But we want to understand that it doesn't mean that this is the way it has to be. Burnout itself, if we can get you to that bliss stage, back into those 5 stages, and I've done another video on the 5 stages of burnout, but if we want to take ourselves up to that bliss stage, we need those coping strategies. And one of the coping strategies I'm going to show you today is how to keep that personal accomplishment feeling as you go through the day to day, because life is going to get busy, it's going to be tough, there is a lot to do, and that's understandable, but it's how you cope and deal with these situations to keep your spark, to feel great, and to feel confident in yourself. So the first thing I'm going to cover today is the external loci and internal locus as well. So what we're going to be looking at is the locus of control, and whether control is coming from internal, from here, yourself, or whether it's coming from external. And whether internal or external, they are going to have a light and shadow. Everything has a light and shadow to it. It's about finding the harmony and making the best choice for you moving forward. So let's start with the internal locus of control. It's the feeling of making things happen. So it could be, for an example, all my hard work meant the class got results. So it's coming from something that you have done and you have achieved to create a result. External locus of control. These are things that happen to me and can make you feel quite powerless. And what we mean by this is things such as, I got through loads this week as it was a quiet one. I wasn't in control of the workload that was coming to me, but I managed to get loads done because it was a quiet week. Now we have to look at the story under the story. And this is what I do as a coach, is finding the story under the story that is creating self-sabotage or potentially subconscious behaviors that are holding us stuck or beginning to emotionally wear us down. So an internal locus of control, all my hard work meant the class got great results. So if I don't work hard, I won't get great results. So subconsciously, we are looking for the meanings behind what we are saying without even realizing. External locus of control, I got through loads this week as it was a quiet one. I don't know how I'll handle my to-do list when it is busy. Now, these are not necessarily your personal ones, but have a listen, journal or speak out loud your thoughts that you're having and see if you can carry on the sentence. Wait for that second thought, because that second thought is where your behaviors, your habits are all creeping up from. So whether internal or external, there is a light and shadow to both. However, we need to know the second part of where your thoughts are going. Now, there was a study into the effects of internal, external locus of control with burnout levels of teachers. And teachers often internally evaluate. So one of the findings was that teachers often internally evaluate and therefore gave negative judgment on self often. This could be something along the lines of listen to your language this week and see if you do it. Let me know if you do. But this is where we're saying things such as, it's all my fault, I must work harder. I should have been there on time. I could have done better. Like, it's the words like should and like it's 100% on me. All these types of things, although they are internal, like a positive side of internal locus is that we're taking responsibility for ourselves. Sometimes we can overdo that and we try and do everything and try and please everyone, and we take all of that burden upon ourselves. So how do we kind of tamper that so we don't do 100% in that way? So an example of an internal plus personal accomplishment. You'll remember earlier I mentioned how with burnout, we tend to lose that personal accomplishment. So this is what I like to call celebrate. It's the C in the balance method that we use. And it's about cheering you in order to evolve. Because if you don't notice you, then that's quite depleting. Notice how when you're teaching, you praise and you give compliments to encourage the behaviors that support you and let go of the ones that don't. So if we are not actually praising ourselves at any point or noticing our own accomplishments, then we are waiting for external knowledge or of our own or validation of our accomplishments, or we're just not getting it at all. So we want to be able to praise ourselves, and it could be something along the lines, if we take the version example we did today, I am proud of myself for working hard and will celebrate with a night off. We've kind of put a full stop to that sentence. And we've noticed you that you've worked hard, but there's nothing attached to it. We haven't attached a consequence. We're just proud of ourselves for doing it and being present in the moment and celebrating that we have achieved in that moment. Let's flip to the external and the personal accomplishment. So I am proud of myself for taking advantage of a quiet week and will celebrate with a night off. That's it. Now, I will go in another time on how we can expand to solve problems when these things do arrive and there is something that we need to harmonize or get curious about to find a solution. But for today, I would love you to just start to practice how you can finish off a moment to stop overthinking afterwards, or having these self-sabotaging behaviors and habits start to creep up. Because if you can actually see yourself and be proud in the moment, and for some people, compliments, feeling proud of yourself can feel uncomfortable, it can feel different in so many ways. But if you work through that, your confidence will build no end. And in doing this, in having those personal accomplishments, in seeing your progress as you go on and move forward, you're able to actually see yourself, notice your accomplishments, and see the progress to prevent burnout. Now, if you found this really useful today, then I will be running a deeper version of the Recover and Prevent Burnout series. And if you want to know more, then you can simply click on the link in the comments to do so. Otherwise, please do continue to watch my channel, ensure you subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.